Do you want to work for Etsy for 20 hours a week and get paid nothing? On top of that, do you want to pay for your own supplies and any training you need to do? Then Etsy ads are for you. Hey, I'm Pam Duthie, and this is a follow-up to my earlier videos this week talking about Etsy ads ripping me off. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you check back and have a look, but basically, since the Etsy ads changed from promoted listings to their new system, I let them run for this year. And I've had a look back at my stats and I was shocked. Yeah, the numbers are awful. $80 for one single sale. And then the last video on this, I was talking about the message that I'd sent to Etsy and what the customer support replied with. And also in that video, if you haven't seen, I show you as well how to actually get hold of Etsy customer support. Because many people were telling me that you're right and you never even get a reply, so at least I got replies. So yeah, I got another reply today, and well, yesterday, and I want to share with you this reply and see what you think of it. And as a little bonus extra, that little introduction, I have been doing a little test on the Etsy ads. I decided, seeing as they aren't working, I can't break them, so I'll try some tests with them. And I'll explain more later about these ads, but I've run some numbers to see that if I was using up the full potential, if I increased my budget so that they were working all day round, how much money would I be losing? Or rather, how much time would I be working for free on Etsy if the ads were costing pretty much as they're making? So free time working just to pay Etsy money. So I'll include those numbers later on in the video. So you want to stick around to hear how I came up with that. And also to see what my test's going to be. It's not been long enough yet to have any results, but yeah, I decided it's time to start testing. But first of all, let us look into this reply that I got from Etsy. So I'm not going to show you it, obviously, but we'll cover some of what was said in the email. So if you haven't already seen and you don't want to go back through the other videos, I messaged Etsy, just giving them a breakdown of the numbers that I've got and asking them why these ads were so significantly worse than promoted listings, and if someone could have a look and even see if there was a way to optimize my ads. Then in the reply, they gave me a complete just swipe file, just random reply that had nothing to do with what I'd asked about. Just basically telling me how to not use my day-to-day stats, but look over a long time period, pretty much. Like, yeah, did you read that I said I was looking over 10 months? Clearly not. But I replied to that, just being more clear, saying, could you actually look at the question that I asked? So, yesterday's response, let's see, did they look at the questions I asked? Did they explain what was happening with the algorithm, whether or not they were going to continue with this or give us our cost per clicks back? Did they answer any of this? Of course they didn't. So now the email, they apologise that I'm not happy with the ads. Yeah, that I feel all snuggly inside now. Let me assist you with this. Awesome! Doesn't that sound great? They're going to assist me with this. Let's see what they're talking about that I should do to improve my ads. So everyone should follow this advice. This is the 100% advice. When I mentioned Etsy, how their ads were so terrible, they've given advice on how I can fix this. Straight from Etsy's mouth. You all ready? To opt out of off-site ads, follow the steps. So, in Etsy's own words, yeah, we're sorry the ads don't work, switch them off. Here's how you switch them off. And then there's even little thing afterwards, and if you want to re-enroll again, here's how you can do it. I know this is just another standard reply, but I do find it rather amusing. I write to customer support saying, is there any way I can improve my ads? And they tell me, yeah, switch them off. So you heard it here first. Etsy tell you to switch your ads off. If that's not what they meant, that's not what they should have sent me. And to get into the other bit that I teased earlier on, what I've been doing, something I talked about when the ads were coming in, seeing how it would work if we switched off the ads during the night and switch them back on. Now, my thinking about this was, with the old promoted listings, what I always did was turned my cost per click down really low. That meant, because ads are kind of an auction, people bid up to whatever their cost per click is. And the ad price is based on that bid. So the person with the highest bid, their ad gets shown. So in general, with an ad campaign that the budget sets daily, the people who are bidding the most, their budget will be spent the earliest. Now, when I looked at my stats, it seemed to suggest that my budget wasn't getting all used up early in the day. But yeah, that doesn't seem to be the case. I think the stats are just reporting incorrect times of the clicks. But anyway, yeah, so I figured that the way these ads were, a lot of people's budget would be getting blown through early on in the day, and the cost per click would be super high at that point. So later on in the day, with everyone bidding against everyone else, if there was less people, then the cost per click might be slightly lower later in the day, and there would be less advertisers and more people searching to buy. So I figured it made sense to turn off my adverts overnight and then only start them up again later in the day for a short period of time. Now, people have advised against this. Etsy says leave your ads running for 30 days to get meaningful data. But what people were saying is it takes time for any of the changes. It takes time to ramp up to being able to spend all of your budget. It takes time for them to understand if you keep switching things on and off. But I decided to give it a go anyway, and over the past few days I've been switching them off overnight and then switching them on later and later through the day to see how this is kind of working out for me. And I noticed the first day I did this, when I checked, my budget was still all used up, even though it had only been on for a fraction of the day. I think I switched it on about lunchtime UK time. So yesterday I decided to switch it on far later. I actually switched it on about 8 o'clock at night UK time. So that's like 3-4 in the afternoon US time. So I figured all the high rollers, nobody wanted to be a high roller, but all the high ad prices would have been spent. People with low budgets, they would have already blown through their budget, so this might be a good time to switch on. And I would run it and let it see how long it took to get through my ad budget. I'll let you know about the numbers later. I haven't run them. But it turned out Etsy spent my $2 in 2 hours. $2 for 2 hours. Now, they kept on saying I should increase my ad budget to get seen to more people. So roughly, these are really, really rough calculations. I would say what we call it in the UK, but I'll probably get banned in the US because that's a word that we use differently than you. You English people will know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I did some rough calculations on this. So if $2 worth of budget gets used up in 2 hours, then in a 24-hour day period, that would be $24 in one day. And if we take a really rough minimum wage, I know most Etsy sellers don't pay themselves a minimum wage, but I bet Etsy staff get minimum wage. So if we gave ourselves a rough rounded up minimum wage of $8 an hour, divided that by the $24, that is roughly going to be 3 hours of work for nothing, because basically my ads were roughly for every dollar I spent, I was getting $1 back. So it was working for free, slightly less, but say that's 3 hours a day. And if we aim for a 7-day week, which most of us are probably working, you're talking about, if you run Etsy ads to their maximum potential with my numbers, your first 20 hours of every single week would be spent just working to pay for your Etsy ads, would be making items and dealing with customers and paying for shipping boxes and everything that don't make you anything, that is all going straight to Etsy. So if you're running Etsy ads to their full potential and you're getting about a $1 return on ad spend, and your numbers are similar to mine, Your first 20 hours of every week is paying Etsy. You're working for Etsy for free. So yeah, unless I can find a way to hack the system, and I'm going to keep practicing, but other test and planning is to use that $60 a month to try different types of ads and different types of things. Let's game this Etsy system and see how we can waste our money in a less wasteful manner. But for right now, if you're losing this kind of money, if you're not making enough in Etsy ads, turn them off. Turn them off right now and message Etsy. Now, I've had in the comments, and thank you all for the wonderful comments, it's kind of exploded this week, but I have had people saying that Etsy won't care, they won't do a thing. And in general, if one person messages them, no, of course they don't care, that means nothing. But if it hurts them in their pocket, if these Etsy ads start making them less than Promoted Listings was making them because we're turning them off because they're costing us, then Etsy shareholders will get angry at Etsy and they'll tell them to sort it out. So if it doesn't make good economic sense for you, then turn off the ads so it stops making good economic sense for Etsy. I hope this helps. Don't forget, if you haven't already checked them out, check out my other videos on this subject to see what I'm actually talking about here, and I'll see you next time.